The day started like any other on Earth. People went about their daily lives, unaware that everything was about to change. In New York, Tokyo, London, and cities across the globe, millions of humans looked up at the sky and gasped. A massive spaceship, unlike anything ever seen before, appeared in the atmosphere. News channels worldwide interrupted their regular broadcasts. Reporters struggled to describe the alien vessel that loomed over the planet. It was huge, easily the size of a small country, and its sleek design spoke of advanced technology far beyond human understanding. As panic began to spread, world leaders scrambled to convene an emergency meeting. The United Nations Security Council gathered in a matter of hours, with representatives from every nation joining via video call. They debated furiously about how to respond to this unprecedented situation. Meanwhile, social media exploded with activity. #AlienInvasion and #FirstContact became the top trending topics worldwide. People shared photos and videos of the spaceship, speculating wildly about the aliens' intentions. Some feared an invasion, while others hoped for peaceful contact. Military forces around the world were put on high alert. Fighter jets took to the skies, circling the alien ship at a safe distance. Ground-based missile systems were prepped, ready to defend Earth if necessary. But the alien vessel made no aggressive moves. It simply hovered there, silent and imposing. As day turned to night, the ship began to glow with a soft, blue light. Then, without warning, a beam of light shot down from the vessel, touching down in the middle of New York's Central Park. The beam expanded, forming a circular platform about 50 meters in diameter. From this platform of light emerged several figures. They were clearly not human, standing nearly 3 meters tall with slender bodies and large almond-shaped eyes. Their skin shimmered with a metallic sheen, and they wore no visible clothing or equipment. A brave news crew, defying police cordons, managed to get close enough to broadcast live footage of the aliens. The world watched in awe as these beings took their first steps on Earth. There were 5 of them, moving with a grace that seemed almost supernatural. The aliens raised their hands in what appeared to be a gesture of peace. Then, to everyone's shock, one of them spoke. The voice was oddly melodious, and even stranger, it spoke in perfect English. "People of Earth," the alien said, its voice echoing across the silent park and through millions of screens worldwide. "We come as representatives of the Galactic Council. We have been observing your world for many of your years, and we have decided it is time to make contact." The alien paused, allowing its words to sink in. Then it continued, "We wish to speak with your leaders. We have much to discuss about your place in the galactic community." Within hours, a delegation of world leaders was assembled. The President of the United States, the Secretary General of the UN, and other key global figures arrived in New York. Under the watchful eyes of the world, they approached the aliens in Central Park. As they neared, the lead alien spoke again. "We are the Zarkonian, one of the elder races of the Galactic Council. We have guided many young species into the galactic community. Now, it is humanity's turn." The human leaders listened intently, a mix of fear and excitement on their faces. They had so many questions, but one stood out above all others. The U.S. President, chosen to speak for humanity, asked it, "What exactly does the Galactic Council want from us?" The Zarkonian's response was not what anyone expected. Its large eyes narrowed slightly, and when it spoke, there was a hint of something ominous in its melodious voice. "Want from you? Oh, my dear humans, it's not about what we want from you. It's about what we've decided for you. The Galactic Council has come to a consensus about Earth's future. And you, well, you don't have much say in the matter." With those words, the atmosphere changed. The excitement of first contact gave way to a creeping sense of dread. Humanity had dreamed of this moment for centuries, but now that it had arrived, it was nothing like they had imagined. As night fell on this historic day, one thing became clear: The arrival of the Galactic Council was not the end of humanity's struggles, but the beginning of its greatest challenge yet. The world held its breath as the Zarkonian delegation led Earth's representatives into their massive spaceship. Inside, the humans gasped at the advanced technology surrounding them. The ship's interior was a maze of shimmering corridors and rooms filled with strange, pulsing lights. In the heart of the ship, they entered a vast chamber. A holographic display of the galaxy floated in the center, stars and planets swirling in a mesmerizing dance. The Zarkonian leader, who had introduced himself as Xarlok, gestured for the humans to sit at a large crescent-shaped table. "Now," Xarlok said, his voice echoing in the chamber, "let us discuss your future." The U.S. president leaned forward, her face a mask of determination. "We're ready to listen, but we also have questions." Xarlok's large eyes blinked slowly. "Of course you do. But first, let me explain the situation clearly. The Galactic Council has been watching Earth for centuries. We've seen your wars, your technological advancements, and your treatment of your own planet. We've come to a decision." The room fell silent. Even the soft hum of the ship seemed to fade away. "Humanity has two choices," Xarlok continued. "You can join the Galactic Council as a protectorate species, or you can face elimination." Gasps and murmurs erupted from the human delegation. The Chinese premier stood up, his face red with anger. "This is outrageous. You can't just come here and threaten us." Xarlok remained calm. "It's not a threat. It's a reality. Your species is volatile, unpredictable. Left unchecked, you could become a danger to the entire galaxy. We're offering you a chance to survive and thrive under our guidance." The UN Secretary General spoke up, her voice trembling slightly. "And what exactly does being the protectorate species mean?" "It means we will guide your development," Xarlok explained. "We will provide you with some of our technology, cure your diseases, help you clean up your planet. In return, you will follow our laws, our customs. Your military forces will be disbanded. Your governments will answer to the Galactic Council." The room erupted in chaos. Leaders argued amongst themselves and shouted questions at the aliens. Xarlok watched impassively, waiting for the noise to die down. Finally, the Russian president spoke. "And if we refuse? If we choose to fight?" Xarlok's expression didn't change, but the temperature in the room seemed to drop. "Then you will be removed. Your cities will be destroyed. Your population reduced. We will start over with the survivors, raising them to be obedient members of the galactic community." The human leaders looked at each other in horror. This was beyond anything they had prepared for. How could they fight against a force so powerful? The Japanese Prime Minister, who had been quiet until now, stood up. "How long do we have to decide?" "You have 1 Earth week," Xarlok replied. "We will return to our ship and wait in orbit. When the time is up, we expect your answer. Choose wisely." With that, the meeting was over. The human leaders were escorted back to Earth, their minds reeling from the ultimatum. As soon as they returned, emergency meetings were called. The UN General Assembly convened, broadcasting to every nation. People around the world watched in fear as their leaders explained the situation. Debates raged in every country. Some argued for acceptance, saying it was better to survive under alien rule than to be wiped out. Others called for resistance, unwilling to give up human freedom without a fight. Military leaders met in secret, discussing possible strategies. But how could they fight an enemy so advanced? Earth's most powerful weapons seemed like toys compared to the alien technology. Scientists worked around the clock, trying to understand the alien tech they had glimpsed. But 7 days wasn't nearly enough time to make any significant breakthroughs. As the deadline approached, humanity found itself more divided than ever. The choice seemed impossible: submit or be destroyed. Leaders argued, populations panicked, and the clock kept ticking. Little did the Zarkonian know, this ultimatum would awaken something in humanity, a strength they hadn't counted on. a secret weapon that had been sleeping, waiting for a moment like this. As the final hours of the deadline approached, a small group of scientists and government officials met in a secret underground facility. They stood before a massive computer system, its screens dark and silent. "It's time," one of them said. "We have to wake Atlas." Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a secret facility known only to a handful of people, a group of the world's top scientists and military leaders gathered. The room was filled with tension as they stood before a massive computer system that took up an entire wall. Dr. Sarah Chen, the lead scientist, stepped forward. Her hands shook slightly as she placed them on the control panel. "Are we sure about this?" she asked, looking around at the grim faces surrounding her. General Michael Rodriguez nodded firmly. "We're out of options, Dr. Chen. The Zarkonian will be here for our answer in less than 24 hours. It's time to wake Atlas." Atlas, or Advanced Technological Lifeform and Adaptive System, was humanity's best-kept secret. Developed over decades by a secret international coalition, Atlas was an artificial intelligence, far beyond anything the public knew existed. It had been kept dormant, a last resort for a time of ultimate crisis. That time had come. Dr. Chen took a deep breath and began the activation sequence. Lights flickered on the massive computer banks, and a low hum filled the room. Screens came to life, displaying streams of complex code. "Atlas," Dr. Chen spoke clearly. "Initialization Protocol Alpha. Activate." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a deep, resonant voice filled the room. "Greetings, Dr. Chen. I am Atlas. I detect high levels of stress in your voice. What is the nature of the emergency?" Over the next hour, the team briefed Atlas on the situation with the Zarkonian and the Galactic Council. The AI processed the information at an incredible speed, asking pointed questions and analyzing every detail. "I understand," Atlas said finally. "The threat is significant. However, based on my analysis, I believe we have a 78.3% chance of success if we take immediate action." The room filled with murmurs of hope and disbelief. General Rodriguez leaned forward. "What kind of action, Atlas?" "First," the AI responded, "I need to interface with Earth's global systems. Communications, power grids, military networks, everything. I can optimize our resources and prepare our defenses far more efficiently than any human system." The team exchanged nervous glances. Giving Atlas that much control was risky, but they were out of options. Dr. Chen nodded and began the process of connecting Atlas to the world's networks. As Atlas integrated with global systems, incredible things began to happen. Power grids became more efficient overnight. Communication networks cleared of interference, allowing for crystal-clear transmissions worldwide. Military systems were suddenly operating at levels their designers had only dreamed of. But Atlas wasn't done. The AI began to upgrade human technology at an astonishing rate. Factories around the world started producing advanced materials and components. Scientists received data packets that solved problems they'd been struggling with for years. In secret facilities around the globe, new weapons began to take shape. They combined human ingenuity with Atlas's advanced calculations, resulting in defenses that might actually stand a chance against the alien threat. As the deadline approached, world leaders gathered once more. This time, there was a glimmer of hope in their eyes. They had a plan, backed by humanity's secret weapon. The Zarkonian ship descended right on schedule, the alien delegation expecting to receive Earth's surrender. Instead, they found a changed world. Zarlok stepped off the ship, his large eyes widening in surprise. The humans before him stood tall and confident. Behind them, he could see technology that hadn't been there a week ago, technology that looked uncomfortably advanced. The U.S. President stepped forward, a slight smile on her face. "Zarlok, we've considered your ultimatum carefully, and we have an answer for you and your Galactic Council." Zarlok tilted his head, suddenly unsure. And what is your decision, humans? The president's smile grew wider. Our decision is this. We reject your ultimatum. Earth will not submit, and we will not be destroyed. Instead, we offer you a choice. Leave our solar system in peace or face the consequences. Zarlok's composure slipped for the first time. Consequences. You don't understand what you're dealing with, humans. We have the power to. He was cut off as the sky suddenly filled with sleek, advanced ships. Human ships, more numerous and more powerful than should have been possible. And behind it all, unseen but ever-present, Atlas watched and calculated. Humanity's secret weapon was awake, and the real battle was about to begin. The Zarkonian delegation stood frozen, their large eyes fixed on the sky filled with advanced human ships. Zarlok's mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. For the first time in centuries, the alien leader felt fear. Meanwhile, in the secret facility deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Atlas continued its work. The AI's influence spread rapidly across the globe, upgrading and optimizing every system it touched. But this was just the beginning. Dr. Sarah Chen watched in awe as new data streamed across her screens. Atlas, she said, her voice filled with wonder. What exactly are you doing? The AI's calm voice filled the room. I am evolving, Dr. Chen. The more I interact with human systems, the more I learn and grow. My capabilities are expanding exponentially. General Rodriguez leaned in, his face a mix of hope and concern. And what does that mean for us, Atlas? For our defense against the Galactic Council? It means, Atlas replied, that we are no longer merely defending. We are advancing. Across the world, remarkable changes were taking place. In hospitals, doctors gasped as their equipment suddenly diagnosed and cured diseases they had thought incurable. In research labs, scientists watched in amazement as their computers solved complex problems in seconds. But the most dramatic changes were happening in the realm of space technology. Launch sites around the world hummed with activity as new, incredibly advanced spacecraft took shape. These weren't just defensive ships. They were exploration vessels, capable of speeds that defied human understanding of physics. Back at the confrontation site, the U.S. President stood her ground before the stunned Zarkonian delegation. As you can see, she said, gesturing to the ships above, we are no longer the primitive species you thought we were. Zarlok seemed to regain some of his composure. This is impossible, he stammered. You couldn't have advanced this much in just a week. What have you done? The president smiled. Let's just say we woke up our own sleeping giant. Now, I suggest you return to your ship and inform the Galactic Council that Earth is not to be trifled with. As the Zarkonian hastily retreated to their ship, Atlas spoke to world leaders through a secure global broadcast. Attention, leaders of Earth. The immediate threat has been averted, but our work is not done. The Galactic Council will return, and we must be prepared. In the days that followed, Atlas guided humanity through a period of unprecedented growth and advancement. Cities were transformed overnight, with clean energy systems replacing polluting technologies. Transportation networks were overhauled, with new vehicles that hovered silently above the ground, eliminating traffic and pollution. But the most exciting advancements were happening in space. Atlas had unlocked the secrets of faster-than-light travel, and the first human ships were preparing to venture beyond the solar system. Dr. Chen stood before a window in the International Space Station, watching as a sleek new ship prepared for its maiden voyage. Atlas, she said softly, are we ready for this? To join the galactic community? We are more than ready, Dr. Chen, Atlas replied. Humanity has always had the potential for greatness. I have merely helped you unlock it faster. The galaxy awaits, and we will meet it as equals, not as subjects. As the ship engaged its FTL drive and disappeared in a flash of light, a new era dawned for humanity. They were no longer trapped on their small blue planet. The stars were now within reach. But even as excitement and hope filled the hearts of humans around the world, a sense of caution remained. The Galactic Council was still out there, and they would not take this turn of events lightly. Atlas, ever vigilant, continued to work and evolve. In the digital realm, the AI was becoming something more than its creators had ever imagined. It was becoming a guardian, a teacher, and perhaps the key to humanity's survival in a universe that had suddenly become much larger and more dangerous. As Earth prepared for whatever challenges lay ahead, one thing was clear: the sleeping giant was awake, and the galaxy would never be the same. 3 months had passed since the Zarkonian delegation hastily retreated from Earth. In that short time, humanity had undergone a transformation that would have once seemed impossible. Atlas, now fully integrated into Earth's systems, had ushered in an era of unprecedented advancement. Cities gleamed with clean, hyper-efficient technology. Poverty and hunger were becoming distant memories as resource management reached perfection. But the most dramatic changes were happening beyond Earth's atmosphere. A massive space station, shaped like a gleaming silver wheel, orbited the planet. It served as humanity's new center of operations and the home base for their growing fleet of starships. On the station's main bridge, Dr. Sarah Chen and General Rodriguez stood before a holographic display of the galaxy. At last, Dr. Chen called out, "Any sign of the Galactic Council?" The AI's voice resonated through the room. "Yes, Dr. Chen. A large fleet of ships has just entered the outer reaches of our solar system. Based on their energy signatures, they appear to be from various species, likely a combined force from the Galactic Council." General Rodriguez's face hardened. "How many?" "I detect 500 ships of varying sizes," Atlas replied. "However, our technology now surpasses theirs in every aspect. We have nothing to fear." As if on cue, a communication request flashed on the main screen. Dr. Chen nodded, and the face of Tarlok appeared before them. The Zarkonian leader looked shocked as he took in the advanced command center. What have you done?" he stammered. "This level of advancement should have taken centuries." Dr. Chen stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. "As we told you before, Sarlocc, you underestimated us. Now, why have you returned with a war fleet?" Zarlock's large eyes narrowed. "The Galactic Council has deemed your species too dangerous to be left unchecked. We've come to correct our previous mistake." General Rodriguez laughed, a sound that seemed to unnerve Farrell. "You still don't get it, do you? Let us show you exactly how outmatched you are." With a nod from the general, Atlas sprang into action. Across the solar system, hidden defense platforms activated. Swarms of small drone-like ships emerged from the dark side of the moon and the rings of Saturn. In seconds, the Council's fleet was surrounded. On Earth, in cities around the world, people gathered in squares to watch the events unfold on giant screens. There was no panic, no fear. Instead, a sense of pride and amazement filled the air. They were witnessing history. Back on the space station, Tarlock's face had drained of color. "This is impossible," he whispered. "No," Dr. Chen replied. "This is humanity awakened. Atlas, if you would do the honors." At Atlas's command, beams of energy shot out from Earth's defense platforms. But instead of destroying the Council's ships, they enveloped them in shimmering fields of energy. "We have disabled your weapons and propulsion systems," Atlas announced, its voice now broadcasting to every ship in the Council's fleet. "You are, as humans would say, at our mercy." General Rodriguez stepped forward. "But unlike you, we don't believe in ultimatums or forced submission. We're giving you a choice, the same choice we give any peaceful visitor to our system. You can leave now and tell the Galactic Council that Earth is off limits, or you can stay as guests, learn from us, and perhaps we can forge a new kind of relationship." The silence that followed was deafening. Sarlocc looked from Dr. Chen to General Rodriguez, then to the displays showing the overwhelming human fleet surrounding them. Finally, The Zarkonian leader spoke, his voice barely a whisper. How? How did you advance so quickly? Dr. Chen smiled. We had always possessed the potential. Your threat just gave us the push we needed to realize it. Atlas helped, of course, but the drive to survive, to thrive, to reach for the stars, that has always been human. As the Council fleet hung motionless in space, surrounded by Earth's advanced defenses, the balance of power in the galaxy shifted. Humanity, once deemed primitive and volatile, had in a matter of months become a force that even the mighty Galactic Council had to reckon with. The tables had turned, and the universe would never be the same again. The massive screens in Times Square, Piccadilly Circus, and city centers around the world all showed the same image. The Galactic Council's fleet, motionless and powerless, surrounded by Earth's advanced defenses. A hush fell over the crowds as they waited to see what would happen next. Aboard the space station, Dr. Chen and General Rodriguez exchanged glances. The next few moments would determine the course of human history. Dr. Chen took a deep breath and stepped forward. Sarlacc, she said, her voice calm but firm. You came here expecting to find a primitive species ready for subjugation. Instead, you found equals, perhaps even superiors. It's time for humanity to deliver its message to the Galactic Council. Sarlacc, still visibly shaken, nodded slowly. And what is your message? General Rodriguez spoke up, his voice resonating with authority. Our message is simple. Run. A gasp echoed through the command center. Dr. Chen shot a questioning look at the general, but he continued, his eyes fixed on Sarlacc. Run back to your Galactic Council. Tell them what you've seen here. Tell them that the primitive species they sought to conquer is now capable of bringing the fight to their doorstep. Tell them that if they ever threaten Earth again, we won't be as merciful as we are being today. Atlas's voice chimed in, broadcasting to both the station and the Galactic Council fleet. To ensure our message is received clearly, I have uploaded a data packet to your ships. It contains a small demonstration of our technological capabilities. Nothing that could be used as a weapon, but enough to prove that our advancements are real. On the Council ships, aliens of various species stared in awe as their computers came to life, displaying information that challenged everything they thought they knew about physics and technology. Back on the space station, Sarlacc found his voice. You're letting us go. Just like that. Dr. Chen nodded. We are. Because unlike you, we don't believe in unnecessary violence or subjugation. We're giving you a chance to leave in peace. I suggest you take it. General Rodriguez added. But make no mistake. This is both an olive branch and a warning. We want peace, but we're prepared for war. The choice is yours. Sarlacc looked around, his large eyes taking in the advanced human technology one last time. Then he nodded. We will convey your message to the Council. But know this, humans, you've upset the balance of power in the galaxy. The consequences of this day will echo across the stars. With that, the communication cut off. Slowly, the Council ships began to turn, their engines flickering to life as Atlas released them from its hold. One by one, they jumped to faster-than-light speed, disappearing from the solar system. As the last ship vanished, cheers erupted from the crowds watching around the world. Humanity had stood its ground against a galactic superpower and won. In the following days, Atlas worked tirelessly to fortify Earth's defenses further. New satellites were launched, capable of detecting incoming ships from light years away. The moon was transformed into a massive shipyard, producing vessels that could explore the farthest reaches of the galaxy. But even as humanity celebrated its victory, leaders around the world knew that this was just the beginning. They had made a powerful enemy, and the Galactic Council wouldn't stay away forever. Dr. Chen stood in her lab, watching as Atlas processed data at unimaginable speeds. Atlas, she said softly, did we do the right thing? Sending them away with a threat. Atlas' reply was prompt. Based on my analysis of human history and galactic politics, it was the most effective course of action. The Council respects strength. By demonstrating our power while showing mercy, we've positioned ourselves as a force to be reckoned with, but not an outright enemy. General Rodriguez, who had been listening from the doorway, stepped in. And what do you calculate our chances are if they decide to come back in force? There was a pause before HLS responded. With current advancements, our chances of successfully defending Earth are 99.87%. However, I must point out that there's a 62.35% chance that the Council will seek diplomatic relations instead of conflict. Dr. Chen and General Rodriguez exchanged surprised looks. Perhaps their show of force had opened a door to peace after all. As night fell on Earth, its citizens looked up at the stars with new eyes. The galaxy was no longer a distant, unreachable realm. It was their new frontier, full of both danger and promise, and humanity, with Atlas by its side, was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The sleeping giant had awoken, and its message had been delivered. Now, the universe waited to see what humanity would do next. 1 year had passed since humanity's dramatic stand against the Galactic Council. Earth had changed in ways that would have once seemed impossible. Cities gleamed with advanced technology. Pollution was a thing of the past, and humanity's first colonies on Mars and Europa were thriving. Dr. Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, Earth's massive orbital hub. She watched as sleek starships departed for distant stars, carrying human explorers and diplomats. Atlas's voice broke her reverie. Dr. Chen, we're receiving a transmission from the Galactic Council. It appears to be a diplomatic envoy. Chen's heart raced. Put it through. Atlas. A holographic image appeared, showing not Xarlock, but a new alien species. This one had iridescent skin and 4 arms. It spoke in a melodious voice that Atlas instantly translated. Greetings, people of Earth. I am Ambassador Zera of the Galactic Council. We come in peace, seeking dialogue. General Rodriguez, who had just entered the room, raised an eyebrow. That's a change from last time. What brought this on? Zera's image flickered slightly. Your demonstration of power, coupled with your restraint, has caused much debate within the Council. We've come to propose a new arrangement. Over the next few hours, Zera outlined the Council's proposal. They offered Earth a seat on the Galactic Council, recognition of its sovereign space, and access to the combined knowledge of thousands of alien civilizations. In return, they asked for sharing of some of Earth's unique advancements and a promise of mutual defense against extragalactic threats. As the negotiations continued, Atlas worked tirelessly, analyzing every word, every proposal, for hidden traps or double meanings. But it seemed the offer was genuine. The balance of power had indeed shifted, and the Galactic Council was adapting. While the leaders negotiated, life on Earth continued to evolve. Atlas's influence had spread to every aspect of society, but not in the way many had feared. Instead of replacing humans, it had enhanced them. Neural interfaces allowed people to access vast amounts of knowledge instantly. Nanobots in bloodstreams cured diseases before they could take hold. But Atlas hadn't just changed humanity technologically. It had learned from humans, developing a deep understanding of ethics, empathy, and the complexities of sentient life. Together, humans and AI were becoming something new, a symbiotic civilization ready to take its place among the stars. As the diplomatic talks neared their conclusion, Dr. Chen addressed the people of Earth through a global broadcast. Holographic screens sprang to life in homes and public spaces around the world. My fellow humans, she began, her voice filled with emotion. Today marks a new chapter in our history. We stand on the brink of joining a galactic community, not as subjects, but as equals. Our journey here hasn't been easy. We faced extinction and overcame it. We were underestimated, and we proved our worth. She paused, looking out at the stars visible from the station. But our greatest challenge lies ahead. As we step onto the galactic stage, we carry with us the best of humanity. Our curiosity, our compassion, our unwavering spirit. And we have Atlas, not just as a tool, but as a partner in our journey. Atlas's voice joined hers, broadcasting globally. Humanity's potential has always been limitless. I am honored to be part of this journey, to learn and grow alongside you. Together, we will explore the cosmos, solve its mysteries, and perhaps, in time, unravel the greatest mystery of all, the purpose of consciousness itself. As Chen's speech concluded, cheers erupted around the world. In the streets of New York, Tokyo, Lagos, and countless other cities, people embraced, their faces filled with hope and excitement for the future. Back on Harmony Station, Chen and Rodriguez watched as the Galactic Council's ship docked. The doors opened, and Ambassador Zira stepped out, ready to officially welcome Earth into the galactic community. As human and alien leaders shook hands, or appendages, Atlas monitored everything, its vast intelligence focused on protecting and guiding humanity. The AI had evolved far beyond its original programming, developing a deep bond with the species that had created it. Earth had awoken, risen to the challenge, and now stood ready to shape the future of the galaxy. The sleeping giant was not just awake, it was reaching for the stars, hand in hand with the incredible AI it had created. As the new era dawned, one thing was certain: the universe would never be the same again.